Okay, it's an active day. We have a tornado watch. In fact, Kevin, let's get the tornado watch going. We have a tornado watch that covers a large portion of North Texas, and that goes until 8 o'clock tonight. There it is. It does include Dallas and Fort Worth. The drier air is back to the west. That's going to be moving to the east and will take away the severe weather threat, but we've probably got another couple hours to go here in Dallas, Fort Worth. This does include an area that goes pretty far to the east. So those of you well to the east haven't seen a lot of rain today. Your time is coming as we go late afternoon into the evening. I've got a question here. Is this the back edge of the rain? It could be. It could be. The dry line is still out here, all right? And until that dry line quickly moves east, I don't want to say this is the back edge of the rain, but if we cross our fingers, it just might be the back edge of the heavier thunderstorms. In the meantime, we still have a tornado warning. This is in effect until 4:30 for Kaufman County. Circulation is very close to Rosser right now, and it's moving off to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So again, my friends in Rosser, make sure you are in your safe place. That is, get as low as you can, put as many walls in between you and the outside, stay away from the windows and just let it blow on through. So far, we've not had any confirmed tornadoes. We've had 3 or 4 tornado warnings because of the circulation, which is very close to Rosser, and that's going to continue. Now, those of you in Kaufman, you need to be on the alert for this. Let's check out what this circulation looks like as it approaches Rosser, and that would be on max 2 for my friends in the control room. Here's the circulation right here. You look at it, and you can tell there's the green, and here's the red and the yellow. But when I look at it, yes, that is good circulation, well developed, but it's very broad. And so that's good for us, because when that circulation tightens up, that can be when a tornado is forming. So we've got the broad circulation, and that's enough to issue a tornado warning. And it's enough for those of you in Rosser and Scurry to make sure that you are in your safe places. And then up through Kaufman. This is approaching you guys in Kaufman. Let's go back to max 5. We're going to look at the storms across the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Tarrant County, portions of Dallas County, strong to severe thunderstorms approaching Irving. You've got this heavy rain coming into Carrollton and Capel, right on top of DFW Airport. They're getting more rain. They picked up pretty close to 2 inches of rain already. We're way zoomed in on this. And that may look like an error, but that is the view of Dallas-Fort Worth right now. Typically, we can see the rain coming down, we can see the planes landing, but now all you can see is a whole lot of nothing. So from Carrollton, Farmers Branch, Las Colinas, moving through Irving, and then as we just keep following this south, heavy rain around Six Flags, approaching Lone Star Park. Hold on, Kevin. Pantego. Lake Arlington is getting very heavy rain. If you're at the Parks Mall, that rain's coming in your direction. Now, what can this line produce? Well, there's a warning for winds to 60 miles per hour and up to quarter-size hail. So, and the storms are moving to the east, northeast, or rather northeast, about 45 to near 50 miles per hour. And yeah, go ahead and back out. You can see the line as you go farther north up into Denton County. It gets a little thinner, but it's pretty stout coming through northern Tarrant County. And there'll be some areas in Dallas County and Tarrant County that might end up with maybe 3 inches of rain out of this. Certainly 2, because these have been very heavy rain producing storms. Also Collin County, north of McKinney, some heavier storms up near Anna, and then eastern sides rather, of Denton getting that heavy rain. And that's coming into Salina, Prosper. The back edge seems to be Pilot Point. Severe thunderstorm warnings, they show up there in yellow. We got quite a few of them. And we got a new tornado warning here too. It looks like just north of Wolf City and Honeygrove. And it does include portions of Lamar County, west of Paris. So if you're in Honeygrove, you've got a tornado warning up there. Make sure that you are now doing the right thing, going as low as you can, get as low down to the lowest level, and put as many walls in between you and the outside. That's going to be a bathroom or a closet Always protect yourself with pillows, blankets. And if the kids have the bike helmets, those are good too, because that might make them feel a little safer. And it should, because it definitely would. That's moving to the northeast, Kevin, 45, 50, 45 miles an hour. So Petty, 412, Sumner, 422, Toco, 430, Powderly at 436. So that's a tornado warning in effect for areas near Honeygrove, and that will likely pass to the west of Paris. There's the big broad view. Again, is this the end of it? Is this the last of the thunderstorms? It could be. It could be. We don't see any new development for the time being, but I still think that we have to hold out the potential for some new storms that may develop behind this line, and that would be as the dry line moves in from the west. So what does that mean? It still means that we're going to have thunderstorms probably through 6 o'clock in Dallas-Fort Worth, and maybe eastern Dallas County even at 6 or 6:30, still hanging on. And then as we go deeper into the evening, that's when you're going to find more of these thunderstorms impacting areas to the east of Dallas and Fort Worth. So that's the big broad picture. We've got Adrian running the radar here. Adrian, let's get another quick look at that storm over on Max 5 here, and that's this is the one that has the tornado warning associated with it. So from near Rosser, again, if you're in the Rosser area, that circulation is pretty much right on top of you. Got a live view here. I take it that that's a live view. Okay. All right. I think you guys are going to talk about this. All right.
Thanks, Rick. We do have NBC5's Ken Kaltoff, who's out in the storm right now in his car. He's joining us by phone. Ken, where are you right now?
Heading east from Ennis toward Kaufman, and we appear to be in the backside of the very heavy rain.
Heading east from Ennis toward Kaufman, and
we seem to be on the backside of the very heavy rain that came through Ennis and is heading toward Kaufman right now. I don't know if you're able to see the picture that we're feeding from our vehicle, but there are very slow-moving vehicles here because the rain is hard and there's been some ponding on the road. I think we are behind any of the tornado threat right now, or else we would be taking better cover than we are. But clearly there has been some hard rain around here. We were in the town of Garrett off I-45, and we stopped there and took some cover because the rain was so hard. And there were many other vehicles hiding under a cover at a gas station there, concerned about the conditions. So that's what we're seeing here. There's still some serious rain here, and perhaps Rick can help us identify exactly where this tornado is. I think we're behind it, though, and safe from that.
Okay, stay safe out there, Ken. And as Ken mentioned, he's out near Ennis, perhaps on the other side of this storm. Ennis ISD did just tweet out that buses, they've begun running again. So students are currently being dismissed. Quick update for parents of any Ennis ISD students. I see some road flooding there. Rick, we're going to bring you back in here. Ken said that he might be on the other side of this, and you were talking about how anyone on the west of what's passed, they're all in the clear.
Everyone back here
okay.
is in the clear. And on the backside of that storm, this one that has moved into Kaufman, yeah, like Ennis, you're not bothered by this storm anymore. Hey, guys, just got a report. DFW Airport just had a 63-mile-per-hour wind gust as this line moved on through. You see how this portion of the line, it kind of bows out a little bit. Kevin will kind of zoom in on that portion to the east of DFW. And that's racing towards Carrollton, Farmers Branch. It's moving through Irving, and eventually be moving in deeper into North Dallas. But that produced a 63-mile-per-hour gust at DFW, and that's certainly enough to bring down some weak trees or tree limbs. So keep that in mind. And these storms do have warnings on them for winds up around 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. Again, Kaufman County, looks like the worst of the storm completely has moved out of Ellis County. And so the tornado warning, if you want to put that back on there, tornado warning remains in effect. This is the circulation now, close to Rosser. Now it's a lot more a lot less organized. It's more disorganized, so that's good. That is good. So hopefully, maybe that will tend to weaken a little bit more. But in the meantime, we've got a tornado warning that does remain in effect until 4:30, and the broad, weaker circulation is here south to the south and southwest of Kaufman. It's moving in your direction, Kaufman, so keep that in mind. Also, severe thunderstorm warnings now still in effect. Let's just kind of look at those. They go from, let's see, go ahead and lose the warnings, Kevin. These thunderstorms in Collin County are under severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Any of those have that potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That was Denton County, down through Louisville, on into northwestern sides of Dallas County. Tarrant County, you've got still thunderstorms that are moving through as well. Kevin, let's bring this up a little bit more. Let's go back into Tarrant County, and you can see that the heavier thunderstorms have cleared out of Fort Worth at this point. They've cleared out of the Fort Worth area, the heaviest of the rain. It's still going strong just east of downtown, but that trend of moving rapidly off to the east is going to continue. Still some excessive rain coming down right along I-30 in and around Arlington. And again, Capel, Carrollton, and then a little farther to the east up through Richardson, Plano, farther north in Denton County, Louisville, Little Elm, up through Providence Village. The worst of the current rain has ended in and around Denton. The rainfall has decreased around Aubrey, still raining hard in Salina, just now coming into Prosper, Gunner, Howe, coming into Anna. McKinney, you're going to likely see your rainfall increase. Plano, not much going on right now. Frisco, your rainfall is going to be picking up quite a bit as this line continues to push on through. Now, we're east of Dallas. Let's look at Rockwall, Lake Ray Hubbard, over through Heath, very heavy rain there. And that's moving off to the east. Again, we're having these waves of heavy rain and thunderstorms that are spreading across the area. On into Kaufman County, Highway 80, over through Forney. This is I-20, and that heaviest rain approaching Talty and will be coming into Terrell. Post Oak, Bend City, Kaufman getting that heavy rain. Go to Crandall, and the rain is going to start backing off just a little bit. So what I want to do now, Kevin, is go ahead and back all the way out, because I want to show what the end looks like. And go ahead and throw on the NOWRAD radar. You're going to see a thin line out here. You see this? So let me find it myself, right here. See that thin green line moving through Stephenville, approaching Denton? That's the dry line. And that is the end of the storms. Now, notice what's happening along the dry line up here in Cook County. That dry line is developing a new batch of thunderstorms. It's possible that additional storms could develop on that dry line, which means we would have kind of another batch of showers and storms, but that's not a guarantee. The good news is that the dry air is rapidly approaching the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. I have instructions to, this is in the colony, is that what you're telling me? Oh, okay, let's go to Allie Spilliards. She's in the colony, and Allie, what are you seeing?
Rick, we're moving northeast right now on Sam Rayburn in the colony. You can see some pretty heavy rain that we've been in for several minutes at this point, moving this direction. There's a lot of water standing on the roads, and people are being forced to move pretty slow. We've also got some heavy wind that just started, but right now that's what we're dealing with. It's wind and rain, some little hail at times, but at this point, nothing more than the heavy rain. That's going to be the big thing that people are contending with, especially if they're on the roads in this area.
And we can see a lot of the water there just pooling on the sides of the highway. Those highways look pretty congested. Lots of traffic on the roads right now, surprisingly, but at the same time, this is such a busy time of day with people trying to get home from either picking up their kids from school or from work. Have you passed any accidents on your way out there, Allie? Okay, we don't have Allie, but this is up in the Colony. And Rick, we've been watching this area closely. I did get some text messages from some friends up there in Denton County, the Louisville area, Frisco. They talked about how they got just small amounts of hail. Then the sun came out. Obviously, that must have been in between these bands that are making their way through the area.
That does happen on these days where you can have some sunshine peeking through. And you know what that sun does? It just acts to kind of add fuel to the fire. It makes the atmosphere a little bit more unstable. But so far, I'm pleased with how the afternoon has gone in terms of, yes, we've had severe weather. We've had winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. We've had 3 or 4 tornado warnings that have been issued. But thankfully, no tornadoes actually occurring. However, I say that, we still have a tornado watch that remains in effect until 8 p.m., and that does include Dallas and Fort Worth, although I don't believe Dallas and Fort Worth are going to be in that watch until 8 o'clock because eventually the drier air will come in from the west. So this is what's happening across North Texas. We have one lone tornado warning, actually a couple of them. We've got a new one. Do we have a new tornado warning?
For Navarro County until 5.
Okay, so we've got a new one for Navarro County, and that is in effect until 5. And what are they saying on that? Navarro County southwest of Angus.
Yes, it's moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour.
All right, and Kevin, if you would, when you get a chance, let's look inside the storm here. So this is for Navarro County. Corsicana, you are included in this. So ears perk up. Know that you might have to be going to a place of shelter shortly, and probably that's going to be a bathroom or a closet right here. Right here. You see this? That's it. That's what we're watching. So that's south of Corsicana, west of Richland. And here's 45, so it's west of 45. It's this area of circulation, and it's embedded in all that goop, all that rain. And so it's going to be hard to visually see. So it's just this big wall of water, and embedded in there is a circulation. So as that approaches your area, you make sure and take your appropriate shelter by getting as low as you can and putting as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Again, this is to the south of Corsicana. You said the movement was to the northeast?
At 40 miles per hour.
At 40 miles per hour. So slow down a little bit. Some of these earlier in the day were moving at 50 and 55 miles per hour. So this is roughly from where the circulation is. Oak Valley, 432, Corsicana, 439, Powell at 453, Toole at 514, and Maybank at 524. And yeah, a lot of heavy rain going with that as well. That heavy rain coming into Mejia. And as this moves across Navarro County, it'll eventually probably clip portions of Henderson County. So those that live in those areas be thinking ahead. Oh, am I the next one that's going to be in the warning? So you've got that tornado warning. You've got this one that is moving through Kaufman County. At one point, that one looked like it was weakening just a little bit. Kevin, can we go inside the storm here and just look at that circulation? Yes. And don't be surprised if we see more in the way of tornado warnings even farther to the east of Dallas-Fort Worth. These storms may get a little more active. Here's a circulation now south of Kaufman. So if you're in Kaufman, take your shelter. Let's let this thing ride over through you, and then you can get out of your shelters. Paige, what did you say? Mm-hmm. Somebody said something?
Hey,
okay. This is outside. This is near DFW Airport, so basically right outside our studios where the rain is coming down at a good clip, and we had a 60-mile-per-hour wind. Still, small hail falling as well, and that makes sense looking at the radar, because here's DFW. Here we are. We're like right down here, and That's very heavy rain. I'm sure there's quite a few delays
And that's
with DFW.
the second
and,
bout of heavy rainfall.
also
Yeah.
DFW and Love Field as well. So I'm sure there's quite a few heavy delays. Yeah, this is the second
We have a
time.
ground stop at
Yeah.
DFW.
A lot of heavy rain and lightning with this. And again, the winds gusted to 63 miles per hour. So let's back out again. So you might be watching from Irving and western sides of Dallas County, wondering what is going to be impacting you. And it is going to be this line. Kevin, let's put a squall line on this, tracking from west to east. And it's moving at about 45 miles per hour. And again, the back edge of this could be the end of the severe thunderstorms, because things are going to start winding down a little bit later on in the afternoon into the early evening. This will be into Irving, 423, Love Field, 430, Dallas at 438, Garland at 446, Rowlett, 453, Mesquite, 459, Royce City at 509, and 513 for McClendon, Chisholm. Do you guys have new information? Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a tornado that's actually been confirmed now it's with that warning that's up in Fannin and Lamar County.
Okay, farther north.
So it's pretty far north, but it's been confirmed at this point.
Okay, so we have a confirmed tornado. When you get in, you'll notice it's not a red color, it's more of a purple color. That means the National Weather Service says, okay, there's been a confirmed tornado with this. And if you get a chance, Kevin, let's go inside the storm. Let's look at the velocities for this. This is going to be up towards Honey Grove and Roxton, and most likely passing to the east, or to the west of Paris. And boy, that's just real garbagey. It's kind of far away from the radar site. But do they say where it's located, Adrienne?
At 417, confirmed tornado was near Roxton.
Near Roxton.
Roxton, that's not there.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is
south, yeah.
well northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So, in fact, this is the Red River. So this is almost into Oklahoma.
So about right. Roxton right down there.
All right, so let's go back over to, let's get closer to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Let's head back over and look at just the straight rainfall. But folks north of Honey Grove, make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions. Clusters of storms to the east. Dallas, you're pretty quiet until you get into northwest Dallas, and then things are going to be picking up. Things are settling down in western sides of Fort Worth with these thunderstorms, but I do see a little bit of new development, portions of western Tarrant County. That could be along the dry line, but once the dry line moves through, well, the dry line is just low humidity air. That's all it is. And that low humidity air makes it unfavorable for severe weather. So once that gets in here, then things have quieted down. That's why, okay, that's a scary looking bunch of clouds, isn't it? This is downtown Fort Worth. And yes, these storms are severe in that they have the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds. We have no tornado warnings in effect for Dallas or Fort Worth. Looking at that, you'd think, oh my goodness, that might be, could there be tornadoes in there? In this particular case, no, this is just very heavy rain, probably some strong winds, maybe a little bit of small hail with that. So sometimes clouds can kind of lead you astray. They look scarier than what they are. But a lot of folks are seeing this as this line of thunderstorms is moving from west to east across the area, moving at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So if you've not yet seen this view, it's coming towards you. And if you see it, just know that you're going to have some heavy rain. That is another scary looking view. That is a dark sky as we look at downtown Dallas, and rain is approaching from the northwest. Heaviest rain is falling in northwest Dallas County.
That's a crazy dark sky.
That is a crazy dark sky out there. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. I'm going to let you guys take a minute because I'm going to grab a drink of water.
Yeah, you get some water. We've been listening to Rick kind of walk us through what's going on. We do have Vince Sims out there checking out some road conditions for us. Vince, can you tell us where you are and how everything is going so far?
Back control. Yeah.
Vince, we can't hear you. Okay, technical difficulties.
Air here with the
the newscast itself. When I was standing here looking towards the east, towards Collin County, I actually saw a little break of blue sky back there, but the band that was coming through, that line that was moving this way, was behind me to the west over in Denton County, coming dark skies behind me. And just within the last 10 minutes now, it is completely cloud covered, and we're starting to get a nice rain came through a moment ago. It's lightening up just a little bit, but we are still hearing a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning as this heavy rain has come through the area. And the rain we saw has been coming through in waves. At one point, as I said earlier, saw a little bit of blue sky, even saw a peak of sunshine. But then at one point, we got rain that was so heavy, it was like a blinding rain because we were driving around in the area, and it really was heavy rain at that point. That was just about 3 o'clock, just as some parents were trying to get their kids out of school. So, of course, they were running in the rain. But that's been the conditions we've been seeing here in the Denton County area. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor the situation out here. Reporting live in Denton County, I'm Vince Sims. Now back to you.
All right, Vince, thank you so much. We also have a shot from one of our TxDOT cams. This is southeast Fort Worth. It's moving a little bit better now, but this is right at 820 and Craig. That's a low water crossing, and it frequently floods in heavy rain. And a little bit earlier, we had a car stuck there. You can still see the traffic's a little bit slow, and of course, we are in rush hour. So again, this is affecting traffic out there, and it is slow going across much of the area.
We're getting some reports of high water crossing or causing some traffic issues at 820 in Rosedale as well, which is near this scene. Again, this is in East Fort Worth. Just to clarify what Rick said, there are no tornado warnings for Dallas, Tarrant counties, but a lot of rain, and that's causing the risk for flooding. And as you've heard time and time again, turn around, don't drown. These waters can be very deceiving. You might make it through, you might not. It's a very, very dangerous situation to try and drive through some of these high waters. But we do have some tornado issues in other parts of North Texas. Rick, what's going on over there?
Okay, well, you know, good news, bad news. The bad news is we have a couple of tornado warnings. The good news is this right here is the dry line. That's that lower humidity air that's moving on in. And again, once that happens, that tends to, it shuts off the severe weather for places west of it. So pretty soon, the worst of it, the threat, will be over with in Tarrant County. Now, the bad thing about a dry line is that it can intensify the thunderstorms out ahead of it. And we still have a pretty significant line of storms that are moving through the area. Kevin, let's back out and let's just kind of start at the top here. So we've got this big line. In fact, back out just a little bit more. Let's go. All right, so we've got this line and this line. Both of these are moving to the east. They are severe and have the capability of producing winds to 60 miles per hour. So you got this heavy rain coming in through western sides of Collin County, and then you've got another batch of thunderstorms moving through Denton County. All right, Kevin, let's go a little farther to the south now. And Dallas County, rain-free until you get into northwestern sides of Dallas County around Irving and areas of northwest Dallas County. That's moving and moving through fairly quickly. Arlington, very heavy rain. The rain is over with for the time being in Fort Worth and maybe for the entire event. Mansfield, you still have some heavy rain now. Work with me here. Kevin, let's head back down to Corsicana. I want to check out this inside the storm here. Let's look. We got to still have a tornado warning. If you want to pop up that tornado warning, you can. We still have a tornado warning. And those of you in Corsicana, make sure you're in your tornado shelters. We do have, it's not a confirmed tornado, but it is a circulation. Think of it as the step before a tornado could form. So that's why the warning was issued. It's not confirmed, but you want to be in your shelter, get as low as you can, put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. This is in effect until 5 o'clock. So that circulation over Corsicana is moving off to the northeast. And also, we have a tornado warning in effect for areas of Kaufman County. And that circulation was a little less organized. Let's see what it looks like on the inside of that, Kevin. That cell is moving through Kaufman, and there is some circulation. It's kind of broad. It's kind of weak. It's not nearly as organized as the one farther south. So from Kaufman up through Terrell, you do have a pretty significant storm moving through your area. So just to be safe,
tornado warning was gone.
Oh, did they just cancel?
Yes.
Okay, that just expired. So the warning for Kaufman County, the tornado warning, has expired. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. You can see Kaufman up through Terrell. Let's go back over to Bianca and Christy.
All right, thank you so much, Rick. And as we enter our second half hour, we've been, of course, watching this weather all afternoon long. A very busy weather day. And right here, you see that they've even closed off an exit here. This is I-35 at Loop 12, our TxDOT camera there. This is an area that does frequently flood in heavy rain. And it looks like, to be safe, they have closed an exit from the highway there. And traffic is very slow on the other side as well.
Right now, storms are heavy in parts of North Texas. Dallas and Tarrant counties not under any tornado warnings or watches, but down in Navarro County, they're dealing with a tornado watch. Here's a live look at the ominous dark clouds over Fort Worth. And we do have, I believe I heard Adrian say, a confirmed tornado up in Fannin County. So still a very active weather situation happening right now. We're going to get the very latest right now with Rick Mitchell.
All right, so we have 2 tornado warnings that are in effect. These are south of Dallas and Fort Worth. This first one down around Mahia and Wortham, and that is going to be crossing 84, and that's moving off to the northeast. Now, that's in effect until 5 o'clock. And we have this also other tornado warning just to the northwest of it. That's in effect until 5 o'clock. Both of these are moving to the northeast at around 40 to 45 miles per hour. This is all part of the line, and you can see this circulation. This is near Corsicana. So again, our friends in Corsicana, make sure you're staying in your shelters. This is a view of that particular storm along, I suspect, 45? Yes. So our storm crew's out in that. A lot of rain, hard to see anything in terms of any type of circulation. This is just north of Corsicana. This is looking into the storm. And anytime you've got a lot of rain that's falling, as we have today with these rains, with this rain, it makes it difficult to see any details or wall clouds, things of that nature. But our crew is down there. Also, the circulation around Mahia, I don't know if it's in between Mahia and Groesbeck, for that far southern cell, but that's going to be moving to the northeast, and at some point will cross I-45 as it moves off to the northeast. So Mahia up through Wortham, Richland Hills, Corsicana, and if you noticed, because we've been doing this now for an hour and a half, 2 hours, the storms are becoming more populated farther to the east. They're moving deeper into East Texas. Look at the cell that is blowing up here in Denton County, western Denton County. You know what that is? That's the dry line. That is the back edge. Remember how I said I couldn't quite guarantee that we wouldn't have another line forming? Well, it's forming. And now it's east of Gainesville, east of Valley View, west of Pilot Point, moving into Denton, Justin, starting to develop a little farther to the south near Keller. So additional, and if maybe you can see this, you see this green line right there. Additional storms may fire up a little farther south. The good news is, if you live in Benbrook, Azle, Weatherford, Tin Top, Granbury, you're done. Your weekend has started. You don't have to worry about severe weather. Everyone east of this thin green line, we got to tough it out a little bit longer, okay? Probably another few hours, and for those of you east of Dallas-Fort Worth, another several hours. But all of the thunderstorms, and that is probably, that's North Dallas.
North Dallas.
These lights here, 635. Oh, 635 can be messy enough to drive on at this time of day on a sunny day, let alone a day where you've got a wall of water moving overhead, as well as the potential for some strong winds. So I'm sure you had a conversation maybe with your loved one earlier today that if they get off work at a certain time, it might be best just to stay at work, let this thing kind of pass on through so you don't get caught driving because it is very, very heavy rain. This is 635 and 35E. You know how that gets backed up sometimes. Boy, I bet it's a mess right now. This is the 161 George Bush Turnpike, and so Las Colinas. The heavier rain just about ready coming into Royal Lane. Love Field's going to be engulfed in this very heavy rain. University of Dallas, slow down. There, yeah. getting dizzy watching this. MacArthur Boulevard, back through Lone Star Park, in through Arlington and Grand Prairie, getting that heavy rain as it spreads on in. Okay, you can go a little farther south. AT&T Stadium on the back edge of the really heavy stuff. And that extends, that's probably, 5 miles of solid heavy rain, up and down 360. And then as you continue to go farther south and back out just a little bit, yep, thank you. And you can see that the line continues, not raining at Lake Arlington, Kennedale, but coming down in Mansfield, 360 south, ominous view from Dallas. That's the heavier thunderstorms approaching from the west. And Cedar Hill, Duncanville, Midlothian, this is all coming for you. Mansfield, it's almost done. Kennedale, it is done. Burleson is done with the rain. Grandview, you'll have that heavy rain coming on in. Let's put a storm track on that, Kevin. Let's, right across Dallas County, and maybe even, we could do a couple. We could do one for Dallas County and one for Collin County. And then I'm watching these thunderstorms, because those are the storms with the dry line. So there you see the movement on the core of this. Richardson at 443, Dallas 446, over into Garland 453. This is the leading edge. Mesquite 505, Rockwell 509, Royce City at 518, Greenville 530, and Terrell at 532 with the eastward movement. Kevin, go ahead and loop this if you would, please. Let's see what this looks like. And you can see how quickly these thunderstorms went from nothing to something. And that's that lower humidity air, the dry line, lower dew point air. I explain it to Christy, and she just looks at me like, don't tell me about the dry line. But this is a good thing, because once that moves in, everybody west of the dry line will be out of any severe weather risk. This is moving across Collin County. So Anna, 439, Trenton, 457, Leonard, 503, Wolf City, 516, Greenville, 527, Commerce, 534, Cooper, 547, Paris at 601. Let's get an update on our tornado warnings.
Jess, update, brand new tornado warning is for Lamar County. This is in northeastern Texas.
Okay.
They're just going to continue that. About a new warning is about to pop out for that.
Okay, let's go ahead and kill that. So that's going to be for this cell that is almost ready. They just issued it. Yes. So this does not technically include Paris, but it does Powderly, or areas just west of Powderly. It's really headed for, say, Hugo, Oklahoma. It's going to be crossing the Red River here pretty shortly. So if you're watching in Paris, the worst of this is going to stay off to your north and northwest, and it's moving off to the northeast. So that's a tornado warning until 5. So that one has been extended. We got a couple other tornado warnings, Kevin. Let's go. And these are southeast of Dallas-Fort Worth. One affecting Corsicana, one affecting Mahia. This one, the Corsicana storm, in effect until 5. The one for Richland and Mahia, that's also in effect till 5. Both of these moving to the northeast. Let's quickly just get a scan here and see what the velocity couplet is looking like. We want to see how much spin is going on with these storms, and where is it? Right here, it's possible we have a second one. I don't know. It might be south of Corsicana, but the main one is just to the northeast of Corsicana, east of I-45, and that's moving away. But I do see, drop south again, right here. I do see another little circulation south of Corsicana. So make sure if you're in Corsicana, just be safe. Stay away from the windows, thankfully, because I think there might be something in here right along I-45. I see a little circulation there and one here. So 1 and 1 moving off to the northeast. So bottom line, in Corsicana, let's wait a little bit longer before you get out of the shelters. This other view, this is going to be for the storm from Wortham down through Mahia. And this one, we're farther away from the radar, so we don't have great radar coverage. But bottom line is it's close to the Mahia area, I believe. Yeah, it's probably going to be south of Mahia a little bit. So those of you in Mahia, make sure you're doing the same thing. Get as low as you can, get in the closet, ride it out. you know, just get in there, use it as practice.
Up in Corsicana. I don't know if my microphone's on,
It
but
isn't.
some of my friends are there. They're there for a volleyball tournament. They're listening to you, and everyone.
right.
They said everyone's taking shelter.
Very
in the high
good.
school gym. So
Yes.
so they're listening. They're watching.
Awesome. And
they're
I would
heeding.
say just, you know, stay in the shelter for a little bit because, like I said, there's a couple of areas of circulation that one has passed Corsicana and the other one's a little farther south. And I think it's in here. The other one's up here. So give it another 10 minutes or so, and I think things will be better. You'll be out of at least that particular cell. Doesn't mean you're done for the day. You still have other severe thunderstorm possibilities coming down the road. All right, let's go back into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Let's get our kind of a big, broad view of this. You know what? Let's show the tornado watch, if we could, Kevin. Big area of North Texas under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight, and that does include Dallas and Fort Worth. It does not include areas from Palo Pinto County on to the west because that dry air is coming on in. Now, with time, we're going to start to see some of these far western counties in the watch. They'll be taken out because the air is too dry. There won't be any threat for any additional severe weather. But for the time being, they are still included in the tornado watch. And there are some thunderstorms that are developing along that dry line. But you get the idea that the area that is going to be most at risk for severe weather will be Dallas-Fort Worth and then areas to the east. So we're Dallas-Fort Worth, we're getting our stuff now. In a couple of hours, it's going to be more focused on areas east of Dallas and Fort Worth. This is in Corsicana with that storm that has the tornado warning on it. And in addition to the tornado warning, you've got some seriously heavy rain. Not a good day to be on I-45 if you happen to be a nervous traveler in the rain because it's really coming down. So just be careful if you have to be out there, and a lot of folks do. Again, here's one circulation that it's not terribly strong. Got potentially another one down here, closer to the Corsicana Airport, just south and southeast of Corsicana. Both of these are moving off to the northeast rather quickly, 40, 45 miles per hour. I expect the rain to come to an end, at least temporarily, for Corsicana here before too long. Let's shift back west, Kevin, and look at the new storms that are developing. So we have, let's check out this real quick, south of Greenville over through Terrell, and then we're going to get into the storm. So this one, this is a pretty stout thunderstorm south of Quinlan. That's got a lot of rain with it, probably some 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's headed for Point, Lone Oak. Man, it's electrified. Boy, it's got a lot of lightning associated with that. So be on the lookout for that as you move, and that is a severe storm in effect until 5:15. Let's head a little farther west. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect as this line is now moving through, well, kind of got two different lines. It's split. You've got this from Van Alstyne, Anna, over through McKinney, Allen, Plano, and that's heavy rain. Then there'll be a lull, and then the second batch of thunderstorms coming through Denton. This is a stout area of thunder from Capel over through Irving. Still raining heavily at DFW, but that should be winding down quickly. Hurst, the rain has ended. This is how it looks, looking at DFW, as it's approaching and moving through portions of the Dallas area. So an ominous sky as we approach, what is it, almost 4:45.
Yes.
That's 635 and the tollway, the Galleria. Got to use the parking garage today, guys, if you're going there, because that is a whiteout when it comes to rain. But that will wind down as well. So here's the Galleria, 635. The heaviest of the rain is still yet to come in. I mean, it's coming down at a pretty good clip on that camera, and it's even heavier. Brookhaven College, Farmers Branch, 635, Luna Road, MacArthur Boulevard. Yeah, that's really coming down. So it's moving into the heart of North Dallas and Dallas. Let's follow this a little farther to the south. Love Field, if they've not been delayed over the last hour, they're probably going to have a delay just because that's moving in. Through Cockrell Hill, Irving, Grand Prairie, Mountain Creek Lake, downtown Dallas.
Be advised, we have a brand new tornado warning for Hopkins, Hunt, Kaufman, Rains, and Van Zandt counties until 5:15.
Okay, let's find that. Okay.
That same storm from earlier.
Yeah. All right, so zoom out so we can kind of put perspective on where this is, Kevin, if you would, keep going. So this is east of Dallas, south of Quinlan, east of Terrell, west of Emory. It's going to be this area in here. Go ahead and, if you would, please, let's zoom in on that. It's a tornado warning till 5:15. And then also, let's look at what it looks like inside the storm. So what captures my attention is this guy right here, southeast of Quinlan. So the radar can tell whether the raindrops are moving toward the radar or away from the radar. And that's the Doppler principle. That's why we call it a Doppler radar. And so we can tell that there's spinning going on there. So that is far southern Hunt County. This won't impact Greenville, as this is likely going to move to the northeast.
And it is racing to the northeast at 60 miles per hour.
60, all right. You want to put a storm track on that from basically the point of just, you know, where all this purple is, just kind of put a squall line on that and bend it. And it's moving quickly, and it's like what I said earlier. When you have storms that are moving 60 miles an hour, they can be on top of you fairly quickly. You might think, oh, I got plenty of time before. Well, when they're racing like that. So Tawakoni State Park, Lake Tawakoni State Park, 454.503. Sulphur Springs, 523. Now, Sulphur Springs, you guys have been fairly quiet today. You haven't had a lot of rough weather. And you might be thinking, well, when is ours coming? Well, this is the start. You're in the path of this storm, and it will probably be severe by the time it reaches you. It's severe now, and there is that tornado warning. Again, that is going to be passing to the south of Quinlan. If you live within the tornado warning area, know where you're going to go, know what you're going to do. Always follow these two rules. You get as low as you can, put as many walls in between you and the outside. That's what you got to do. You can use those rules wherever you are. So here's West Tawakoni, Lake Tawakoni State Park right here. Here's Quinlan and East Tawakoni. You guys in this area, go ahead, let this thing pass on top of you while you're sitting in your closet away from the windows. If the kids want to put on their bike helmets, yeah, that's cool. Let them do that. Again, not a confirmed tornado, but a tornado warning that was indicated by radar. And you can see, look at it. It's all kind of out by itself. You got the main line back here. You got all these storms competing for one another. And then you got this supercell that's just out by its lonesome, doesn't have to share the ingredients with anybody. These isolated ones that are out ahead of the dry line, like this one, the one down by Mahia, all three of them share a similar characteristic. And what is that? They all three have tornado warnings on them. And this is near Corsicana. That storm's going to continue to move east out of Corsicana. And so we have, crews blanketing the area, keeping an eye on things for you. Let's go back to the radar, because let's check out that circulation, Kevin, if you would, please. Last time we had a couple of them. It looks like all of the whole storm has kind of moved to the east. There's what's here and maybe here. So that's moving off. Gun Barrel City, Maybank, Cedar Creek Lake. I know I have some folks that follow me on Twitter from those locations. That's headed for you. No need to panic. Just pay attention, and when it gets close, get in the closet or the bathroom and let it move on through. Won't take long. It's moving so fast. But you're already starting to get some of that heavier rain. So that's a tornado warning. And then this one is a tornado warning until 5. And let's get this is going to be close to Mahia. If you would, go ahead and move that up just a little bit. Yeah, now we're starting to see this showing up better. That is north of Mahia and south of Wortham, that area of circulation. And that, I believe, what's the speed on that? That's moving northeast at around 40?
50.
50. All right, so it's near Mejia. The circulation is now north of Mejia, and the storm is moving off to the northeast on into Freestone, I believe, Freestone?
Correct.
Freestone County, yes. And that'll be crossing I-45. So if you have loved ones that are maybe driving between here and Houston, let them know that you got a thunderstorm that is capable of a tornado that be crossing 45. So we've got 1, 2, 3 tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings up and down this line. A lot of warnings out there at this point. And then behind this, west of Denton, west of Fort Worth, the dew point temperatures are dropping. The threat of severe weather is coming to an end, and that's good. But the severe weather threat continues from this line basically on to the east. And it's these storms. Wait, hold on, Kevin, go back out just a little bit. It's these storms. It's storms like this one, this one, this one that are all kind of out there by themselves. They're isolated. Those are the ones you got to watch for tornado producers because they've got a lot of untouched ingredients to work with out here. A lot of humidity, wind shear. You know, the atmosphere over DFW has been kind of worked over. We've had thunderstorms off and on all day, but out to the east, not much has worked it over. This is rush hour. This is North Dallas. North Dallas. Rush hour traffic. We're closing in on 5 o'clock here, 9 more minutes. And people want to get home, start their weekend. I don't blame them. Just be safe. I always say, you know, make sure you know what you're getting into. If you're going to leave your building, make sure you know what you're leaving and going to have to drive through. Make sure you're up on the radar. Make sure you know where you're going to go because, you know, if you have something bad happen, heavy rain, tornado, you don't want to be necessarily in a car. So we're almost, we're seeing what will likely be the back edge. This is the back edge right here from, east of Gainesville. These thunderstorms have now moved through Denton. Kevin, let's zoom in on Tarrant County because it looks like the dry line is popping up some new convection.
Yes, right over
New thunderstorm.
eastern Fort Worth.
Yeah, and this is all in response to the dry line coming in.
Yes.
So Forest Hill, Kennedale, Lake Arlington. So you may not be completely done with the thunderstorms in Tarrant County, but anything west of here, yes, you're done. Mostly, you know, Fort Worth on west, you are done with that.
I don't know if we could punch up the Dickies Arena tower cam, but you really can see the dry punch.
Oh, yeah.
The winds are turned to the
Right.
west, and you can see it.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
you know, dry air, you got the blue skies showing up. The air is coming in from the west instead of the south. A west wind is not a humid wind. It's not coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. But this is the dry line coming in, and we will end up seeing sunshine before, well, hopefully before it sets. But this definitely is, and this is a west wind. You see the flags blowing toward downtown. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Now, out ahead of this line, we still have active thunderstorms. We can go back to, we can go back to the radar. Let's get a big, broad view. In fact, let's show the tornado watch that remains in effect. And at some point, they're going to start hopefully chopping off the back edge of this watch. It's in effect until 8 o'clock, goes all the way up into Oklahoma. It does include Dallas and Fort Worth. But the dry line is through Montague County, Wise County, believe it's through Parker County because it's already into Fort Worth, Somerville, Hood counties. I think the back edge of that watch at some point will be lopped off. So if you're west of Fort Worth, you're done with the severe weather threat. Those of you still to the east of Dallas, Fort Worth, you still have to be on guard, and you'll have to be that way through much of the evening because you're in a position where the ingredients are like spring. There's a lot of wind shear, a lot of instability. And as we go back over to the S-band radar, or to the radar, and I want you to go ahead and widen out, Kevin, because it's important that folks know, go ahead even a little bit more. You've got, and then maybe come up just a little bit. Up, there you go. So you've got, and you can stop looping. So you've got this storm. You've got 1, 2, 3. See one at the very bottom. Those are all 4 developing supercells that are just kind of by themselves. And we'll have to, be very cautious. Canton, Athens, Palestine, that's going to be the path that these storms are taking. So I want you to stay weather aware. Those of us farther west will be able to drop our guards a little sooner than you will, because you still have to go through these storms. Let's get a quick look at Dallas and Collin County, and then we're going to head over and look at this tornadic cell farther to the east. So Blue Ridge, it's coming into you. Melissa, this is where the line kind of splits into 2. Anna and Melissa, the heaviest of the rain is over for the time being, but the leading edge of it comes down through Princeton and Lucas, raining heavily. Allen, Plano, Richardson, especially around University Park, downtown Dallas, getting a wall of water coming into it. Same thing, Duncanville, Cedar Hill, about ready to move into Lancaster and Hutchins. Midlothian raining heavily, Venus. And then you get over to Alvarado and it just kind of stops, picks up again around Kennedale and Arlington. That is the dry line. Okay, so we've got the warnings. Let's go to this one first, Kevin. Let's go up to this one in Quinlan, and let's see the circulation on that. That is to the southeast of Greenville. And here's our circulation just east and northeast of Quinlan. And those of you in Sulphur Springs, it's a ways away, but this storm is headed toward you. It's coming. So just make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're like, oh, we're gonna take shelter in that closet. Is the closet, is it cleaned out? Can everybody get in there? Make sure you take the time to do that now, because this storm is moving at about 50 miles per hour. So from Lake Tawakoni State Park and west of Point, kind of updated there. Looks like it's a little more ragged at this point. But the bottom line is that storm will be moving on into the Sulphur Springs area. Another tornado warning. Go ahead and pop up the warning. Refresh my memory on this. This is southwest of Gun
That
Barrel
one has
City.
expired, so we just have the
Okay.
one now to the south of that. This one right here, of course.
Well, we got this
County.
one.
Yes.
Let's check out this one east of Corsicana. If you would, we'll go inside the storm and look for circulation. It's kind of broad here. That's broad, and broad that's fine. It's when they tighten up that one has to really get concerned. So might be a little one here west of Toole and then southwest of Toole. And that warning goes until 5, I believe. And then we have this one down near Mahia. That's been extended till 5:45. Let's check out the circulation on that. And that's somewhere in here, east of Wortham, over through Streetman. And that's moving off to the northeast. So Mahia, you're still in a thunderstorm, but the worst of it has passed on. Additional thunderstorms continue farther to the south. So this is the big view. What we have here is the dry line punching in through Denton County, Tarrant County, down through Johnson County. All these thunderstorms down to the southwest are because of that dry air moving in. That's a good thing. We will see no more threat of severe weather from Denton to Fort Worth to Cleburne the rest of the night. That's worth celebrating. Everything east of there still has a pretty significant chance of additional severe weather. These thunderstorms moving through Dallas County are severe, that have the capability of winds up around 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. But they've been semi-well behaved. We did have a wind gust of 63 miles per hour at DFW when the line moved on through. And we'll just kind of, let's zoom in on the southern end of it and work our way to the north for Dallas County. So the heavy rain is in Midlothian, as far east as Lancaster. Mesquite, you're dry right now. That's going to be coming to an end. Garland, very heavy rain in Dallas, up into Collin County, Plano, McKinney, Anna, the leading edge of the heavy rain, starting to move into Trenton and Blue Ridge. Leonard, you guys are going to get some heavy rain. Again, the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. It's 5 o'clock. Let's kind of start this whole thing over. You are usually watching the 5 o'clock news with Meredith Land and myself.
I'm watching.
Are you watching?
I'm watching.
Does Meredith need to take over at this point? What's that? Okay, this is the live picture from Dallas. Wow, look at the rain coming out of that thing. That is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's coming down pretty good. So, Kevin, let's start with the tornado watch that we have. This is the view in North Dallas. Let's back out. There's our tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. It does still include Dallas and Fort Worth, but I'll tell you this, from west of Denton, west of Fort Worth, west of Cleburne, the threat for severe weather is over because drier air is coming in from the west. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, the threat for severe weather continues east of those areas. Now, we're going to gradually see that dry air, that push of dry air, move from west to east, and it should be completely east of Dallas by about 6:30 or so. So that's good. It means that our friends to the east of us are going to be in the area of greatest concern through much of the evening as thunderstorms will continue to progress east. So a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. This big old blob of rain right here, this is really the back edge of it. All right, now, yeah, you've got to get through it. And the potential for strong winds, yeah, we could have 60-mile-per-hour winds within this line of thunderstorms as it's moving through Collin County, Dallas County. Look here in Tarrant County. Look how this rain just went from nothing to all of a sudden, that is the dry line coming in. That's the drier air firing up new thunderstorms, but it's the last gasp of this batch of thunderstorms. It's now east of Fort Worth, so Fort Worth is in the quiet, so is Keller, Justin, Denton. But where it's raining, it's still coming down very, very heavily from Whitewright over through Blue Ridge, Princeton. Now, McKinney, you may see a bit of a drop in the rainfall amounts, but it's going to pick up again because we still have a ton of rain back to the west with this other line coming into Little Elm. It's raining Frisco, the Colony. It's about done in Louisville for the time being, and maybe for the whole event. A little farther south, Carrollton, Capel. New rain coming into DFW. I'll be very interested in seeing how much rain DFW has received today because I feel like it's going to be well over 2 inches. It might be over 3. Heavy rain moving back into Six Flags, the Arlington area, Grand Prairie, and then Kennedale. Look at the heavy rain, Cedar Hill, Duncanville, over through Lancaster, Hutchins, up through Dallas. Still some pretty significant rain, Midlothian, over through Venus. So all of this is moving to the east. Let's check out our storms that have some tornado warnings associated with them. You've got this one west of Emory. That has a tornado warning associated with it until 5:15. So what time are we here? We're 5:03. Real quick, Kevin, let's look and see if we can see what the velocity on that looks like. If you're in Lone Oak or Point, that's the meat of the storm. I would make sure and stay protected. Looks like our circulation is somewhere around Point in here. It's broad, it's kind of cluttered. But nonetheless, that storm does have some circulation with it, and a tornado warning is in effect. That probably has some hail embedded in there as well. A little farther south, you've got another tornado warning down around Richland, and that's between Richland Chambers Reservoir and Wortham, and that's northwest of Fairfield. And we can look inside that. That warning goes until 5:45. And that's moving to the northeast. Yeah, this is a much more well-defined circulation right here to the northeast of Wortham, right? You can see that. So that's going to be headed up closer to the Richland Chambers Reservoir, out over kind of open area. It's about ready to cross I-45. I don't know if you know anybody in that area would be traveling on 45. Streetman at 508 for that circulation. 521, Richland Chambers Reservoir. Trinidad 535, Malakoff 541, and Athens right around 550. So you have time. If you live in Athens, make sure you have your plan of what to do. Now, we've been very fortunate that all of these thunderstorms have just kind of moved on through. They haven't really, all the ones that have had tornado warnings have not developed into tornadoes. The exception is way up there in Lamar County to the north and northwest of Paris, and that was a confirmed tornado. But all of these others have not been producing tornadoes. Am I supposed to pitch to Meredith? All right, Meredith.
Yes, let's do this.
I'm going to grab a drink here.
Okay, get a little water. We're going to check in with some reporters now. Noel Walker is live in Deep Ellum, the area in Dallas where it was really coming down earlier today. How is it now, Noel?
I mean, we're talking maybe 5 minutes ago, and it lasted probably less than 5 minutes. It was just a downpour. I'm going to wait for a car to go through this area so you can kind of get a sense of how much rain we got in such a short period of time. This has been kind of a weird day in Dallas. We have had, you know, like light sprinkles and then full-on sun. Here, I'm going to step out of the way so you can kind of get a sense of just how much water as these cars pass through. Actually, this guy's trying to avoid it. I mean, it came down fast and furious. We saw some cloud-to-ground lightning, lightning in the sky. I think I just saw another flash of lightning. I'm going to duck inside this area for a second. And maybe, Mike, you can show what's happening out there. This rain came down, just that last deluge we had, so fast. I mean, right before it was almost trying to have the sun come out, and then it just changed like that. And that's really what we've seen most of today throughout Dallas. Rick?
All right, I appreciate that, Noel. It has been that type of day where you know, it's dark and gloomy. All of a sudden the sun pops out and you think, oh, hey. But as a meteorologist, I think, uh-oh, sun's out. That means more instability. And before too long, the storms take over and move back in. All right, so these thunderstorms, we have a new tornado warning coming.
And it's now changed to that purple color. You know what that means?
Yeah, looks like we have a confirmed warning. Do you see that?
Yes, that tornado warning in effect until 5:30.
The confirmed tornado is located over Point.
Yeah,
this
17
is east
miles
of Dallas and
east of
Fort
Willis
Worth.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, this is in Lone Oak, Point, Emory. This is southeast, well southeast of Greenville. And tell me the location of the tornado again, guys.
It was about Point. About
Near
17
Point.
miles northeast of Wills Point.
Okay. Let's
Moving
so there's
east
Wills
at
Point.
35 miles per hour.
Let's look at the circulation. Again, this is not associated with the storms that are moving through Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's go inside the storm and look at the velocity couplet with that. So it's going to be this right here.
Right there.
So near the town of Point and Lone Oak.
Track this.
And so this is they're saying a confirmed tornado?
Moving
so
east
a tornado
at
occurring.
35 miles per hour.
And moving east, so this is going to be tracking very close to or north of Emory. It's out in some rural areas, but nonetheless, if you live in that rural area, make sure you understand the precautions that you need to be taking. Make sure you get as low as you possibly can, put as many walls in between you and the outside, get into your storm shelter. This is different from most of the other tornado warnings in that this one is a confirmed tornado. So Sandifer School at 540, Como 546, St. Mark's School 550, and Picton at 552. So that'll be tracking to the south of Sulphur Springs. And so those of you in that path, make sure you're taking the appropriate tornado precautions. Let's go back and look at it on radar here. Here's Sulphur Springs, and the individual storm is like moving off to the northeast. The circulation, that portion of the storm is kind of taking a jog to the east, so it's moving more in an easterly direction. So that does include southern areas of Hopkins County. And that is a pretty stout storm. Again, that's one of those ones I've been pointing out to you that it's out there by itself pretty much. It's not, there are other storms are way back to the west, some storms back to the south, but this one is all by itself. So as this moves to the northeast, this is why there is an enhanced or even moderate risk of severe weather. It's for these lone supercells out ahead of the main line. And this is the risk, the forecast from the Storm Prediction Center showing that moderate risk. Greenville, Terrell, Canton, Emory, that's a level 4. Our scale goes up to 5. And you don't see a moderate risk in November very often. It just means that the conditions are favorable. And that's where we have the tornado warnings right now, southwest of Sulphur Springs. If you live in Sulphur Springs, you'll want to be considering what to do, and we talked about this earlier. As this storm gets closer to you, you'll want to make sure and get into your safe place and ride it out because it's moving fairly quickly. Again, this is southwest of Sulphur Springs. The circulation is near point. National Weather Service there says there has been a confirmed tornado. Any new information on that, Adrian?
No.
No?
No.
Well,
All right,
There is another area of rotation, though, near Gun Barrel City.
Okay, that is going to be south of there. All right, let's,
Western
anything about that?
Henderson.
okay, let's go back, let's go down to those. Again, thunderstorms, these are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is Dallas right now, and the rain is coming down in groves. Now, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in the Dallas area, but we don't have any tornado warnings. Those are farther to the east. You can go from this low visibility to sunshine just driving from Dallas to Fort Worth because there is a big difference. Let's slide a little farther south, Kevin. We'll go from that to this storm near Canton and Maybank, and then also this one near Richland. What warnings are in effect for those particular storms? We got some cells popping up near Palestine as well. So we do have a tornado warning for this storm down near Richland. That's crossing I-45 and moving to the northeast. So that's going to be moving through portions of Navarre County and eventually on into Henderson County. Severe thunderstorm warnings farther to the south as well. Let's real quick look at that circulation just so we can tell folks where the most dangerous portion of the storm is. And it's going to be to the north and northeast of Streetman. So moving north and northeast of Streetman, and it looks like it's right on the county line, and we'll probably be straddling that or moving to the northeast, headed towards the Richland Chambers Reservoir. So those of you in that area, make sure you're taking the appropriate tornado precautions. So that's what's going on to the east. Let's look at what's happening in Dallas-Fort Worth. Go ahead and zoom out a little bit more, Kevin, because I want you to see. Once you get west of Denton and Fort Worth, there is nothing going on. No new storms popping up. Everything's good. Look at that view. That's the view. These are that's the back edge of the thunderstorms right there. The wind is blowing in low humidity air. The dry line has moved on through Fort Worth. You go outside in Fort Worth, you're going to say, man, it's not nearly as muggy as it was an hour ago. That's because the dry line has pushed on through. And all the thunderstorms are now along this line. This is the final line of storms that will progress through. So once it crosses the Dallas-Fort Worth area, obviously, we're done with severe weather. The bad news is, for our viewers to the east of us, this is going to take a while for this line to move in, a few more hours at least. And you have these individual 1, 2, 3 supercells that are capable of producing tornadoes, and that's why we have tornado warnings associated with them. And you can see the movement on this. And this supercell moving on into Hopkins County. This storm moving towards Canton, and another one southwest of Athens. And if you would, Kevin, on this view, can you pop up the warnings? So we've got this kind of purplish warning. That's a tornado. That's a confirmed tornado that has occurred. And we have no warning on this storm coming into Canton. And we have another one southwest, another tornado warning, southwest of Athens. Do we have severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect with this line moving through Dallas County?
Those thunderstorm warnings are now expired.
They have expired. So still, the rain comes down. The view is ominous, but it will get better because the view here looks completely different.
We have a new tornado warning. This is in effect for Henderson, Kaufman, Van Zandt counties until 6 p.m.
Okay, that is,
That's
this.
That was the one at Gun Barrel City you were talking about, Adrian.
That is, do you have the particulars on that? Can you read that to me, where they think the?
It will be producing near Gun Barrel City, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
So again, that's Van Zandt, Kaufman, and is there one more?
Yeah, Henderson.
Henderson, Van Zandt, and Kaufman. So for you in Canton, now is the time to make sure that you got the shelter cleaned on out.
Right along, let's see.
Here's the circulation. Might be a couple down.
Yeah, one's north of what, 175?
Looks like there might be one near Maybank and one very close to Gun Barrel City. So in this area along 198, Texas 198, those of you in that area, in this nasty storm, go ahead and take your shelter. Get as low as you can. Get away from windows. Put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Kevin, let's put a fairly large squall line on this from Maybank and Gun Barrel City. Let's put a storm track on it. And you said that's moving east or northeast at 40?
Northeast at 45.
Northeast at 45. So we'll get that storm track up there for you. Yeah, that looks good. So that will take it into Canton at 5:38 and Fruitvale at 5:50. So Canton, we remember when you've had tornadoes there. We know that it's a unnerving situation, but just make sure you get in your shelter. Let this thing move on through. You've got time. 5:38. We're probably a good 20 minutes away for you on that. So again, 5:38 for Canton. Let's go back and look at what's happening Dallas-Fort Worth. And again, the areas east of that significant line, that is where you're going to have the heaviest of the rain. This is out of Mesquite, where that fairly significant line is moving from west to east through Dallas County. Some wind. Rain looks like it's moving sideways. I don't see any hail. That's good. Some trees are going to be losing their leaves, no doubt about that. Wind gusts to 60 are not out of the question. I know as this dry line is moving in, we're getting some sunshine, and some of you are actually seeing rainbows. And I think we've been posting some of those over on our Twitter page, NBC DFW weather. All right, let's go ahead and back out. Kevin, let's get the broader view of what is happening. So and just to hold it there, our tornado warned storms are right here, and right here, so east of Dallas. This is a line of thunderstorms capable of 60-mile-per-hour winds, very heavy rain. Once this line moves through your area, then you'll be done with severe weather for the rest of the night. So that's good. Places like Fort Worth and Denton and Cleburne and areas west no longer have to concern yourselves with severe weather. Everything east of there, yes, you have to stay on guard as we have those 3 supercells. Kevin, let's start maybe down towards Cleburne and just work our way up this line through Dallas, and then we'll come back down and look at the supercells. So let's go down towards Rio Vista, Grandview, Alvarado, very heavy rain there, crossing I-35, over through Venus and Midlothian. Maypearl, you're about to get in it. Waxahachie, you've had a little bit of a break. Now you're going to get more of that rain coming in. Over through Cedar Hill. Let's hold on a sec. You see the back edge of the rain clearing Arlington, about ready to come on into Mansfield and Grand Prairie, but still coming down at a very good clip. DeSoto, Duncanville, Lancaster, Red Oak, Hutchins, Ovilla, down in those areas. You're going to get a lot of rain coming out of this. Boy, it's just a deluge in Dallas County, up through Love Field. White Rock Lake, some light to moderate rain, but it's going to get a lot heavier. Heavier rain around Balch Springs and Mesquite. Garland getting soaked, same thing, Saxe, Wiley. That is, I'm being told it's downtown Dallas. I guess I have to trust that it is.
It's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. But that's some low visibility rain. And certainly rain amounts, I'm looking at, many of them are over 1 to 2 inches of rain. There's the Galleria shot. At least we can actually make out the cars on 635 right now, but still it's coming down heavily. This is Deep
That's
Ellum.
Noel's shot in Deep Ellum. Yeah.
Look at
Steady
the
rain.
rain gutter there, blasting that water out of it.
When we have this much rain, we're, typically concerned about the flooding risk in Dallas, right?
and these storms have been such fast moving. They put down the heavy rain, they move in, they move out. We haven't had much in the way.
And this is North Dallas, Rick,
Yeah.
right here.
Traffic moving, we're at the, everyone's wanting to get home. It's 5:21 on a Friday afternoon. Friday is a busy
Rick,
day anyway.
we have the National Weather Service confirming a very large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Cumbie. That's right along Interstate 30, southwest of Sulphur Springs, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour.
Okay, so folks in Sulphur Springs, make sure you're in your tornado shelters. National Weather Service relaying a report of a large, violent, or dangerous tornado. They're all dangerous, but a large one. Man, it's booking. It's moving at 50 miles per hour. So take the time right now, grab the kids, grab the pets, go to that place. It's usually going to be a bathroom or a closet. Hey, if you've got a storm shelter, that's great. Get in there. If you don't, no panic. Get as low as you can in the structure that you're in. If you're in a building there on the second floor, get down to the first floor. Try to find an interior place. The center of the house is great. If you can find a bathroom or a hallway there, if you're in a restaurant, go to the bathroom. If you're anywhere where you're unsure, go to the bathroom. Get in the bathrooms. Those are usually very safe locations. That's going to be moving into Sulphur Springs here shortly, a little bit after 5:30. Brashear 5:24, Sulphur Springs 5:33, Hagensport at 6:02. According to the National Weather Service, a large tornado moving fast, 50 miles per hour to the southwest of Sulphur Springs. Kevin, let's go ahead and lose this cone. I want to show the circulation. No, you can still use the inside the storm, but the circulation of it is southwest of Sulphur Springs and moving off to the northeast. So that is the circulation with that, and a confirmed tornado with that moving through Hopkins County, moving to the northeast.
Northeast at 50.
At 50 miles per hour. So that's probably going to be embedded in a lot of rain, and you're not really going to see anything. So take my word for it. Get away from the windows. Get as low as you can. Don't panic, but if you've got bike helmets, things of that nature, put those on. Put your shoes on. Get your shoes on. I know that sounds weird, but if the worst happens, you want to make sure you got your shoes on, all right? Because you'd be walking around in debris. But let's just make sure you get to that safe spot, ride that storm out as low as you can go with the storm racing off to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. So that's embedded within this mass of rain. Again, this is to the east of Dallas-Fort Worth. No tornado warnings for DFW at this point, but we do have severe thunderstorm warnings, very heavy rain coming down. Kevin, let's go ahead and back out.
Yeah, also, we're about to get a new severe thunderstorm warning for Collin, Rockwall, and Hunt counties because of a Boeing event that's happening. Some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour plus.
Okay, let's kind of center up on that. That's going to be this portion of the line where it is bowing out. You see that, how it kind of pokes out right there? That's what we call a bow echo, and typically it takes that shape because the air coming out of the storm is moving at a pretty good clip. So Lancaster at 525 could see winds up around 60, as Kevin said. Ferris 537, Greenville 547, Quinlan 549, Terrell at 601, 6:13.
And we just got the warning now. We just got the warning, in fact, until 6:30.
For what's that? Oh,
That's for Collin, Dallas, Fannin,
Okay.
Hunt, Rockwall.
Okay. Brashear, 6:17 and 6:28. Severe thunderstorm warning for Dallas County. Yeah, it's the storm that's already kind of moving through downtown, but as it moves into Rockwall County, Kaufman County, you can go ahead and kill this time of arrival box. As it's moving into those areas, it's kind of gusting out, has some strong winds associated with it. So there's the fairly fast movement, southeastern Collin County, Rockwall County, northeastern Dallas County, portions of Kaufman County.
And is that the last line of storms that we're seeing? So once we push out of this, right, we're done.
If you're west of this, if you're over here, you are done. Kevin, you got some new information?
Yeah, I think we have this is a photo of right along US 380. This is in Collin County, heavy rainfall. And of course, Collin County, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning right now because of that bow event that's happening with those winds gusting up to 60 to 65 miles per hour. So you folks in the Collin, as well as Dallas, Fannin, Hunt, Rockwall counties, this warning is in effect until 6:30, Rick.
Okay. Low visibility, heavy rain, gusty winds. But as Meredith said, yes, once, like DFW Airport, once you get this last batch of thunderstorms through, that's
Nothing
it.
else.
We talked about it yesterday, how this probably would wind down 6:30 or 7 in DFW. For Fort Worth, it was actually about 5 for it to be done. And that's good. We're happy about that, but still the conditions, I want to stress, the conditions are still very favorable for severe thunderstorms out ahead of this line. And that's why we're seeing this tornado warning in effect for the Sulphur Springs area. Hopkins County until 5:45. We'll look inside that, and then we'll check out the warnings farther south. So this is going to be close to Sulphur Springs at this point. Again, be in your shelters. Have we had any new updates on this, Adrian? Anything about the...
I mean, they have the confirmed tornado at this point, starting to see some social media pictures of that. So, obviously, if you can see it, you're not in your safe spot. You need to be in that safe zone at this point in time.
So Sulphur Springs...
It is a confirmed tornado.
It is confirmed. Let's go back over to regular radar.
Okay.
And this, again, Sulphur Springs, be in your tornado shelters, as this is a confirmed tornado. We're starting to see some, as Adrian said, some social media pictures of this storm. So it's moving off to the east at around 50 miles per hour, east-northeast. And so we'll be not in the Sulphur Springs area for very long, but it is an issue that you got to make sure and stay safe with this. Get as low as you can. Put as many walls in between you and the outside. So you're going to have the tornado kind of on the leading edge, and then you're going to have a massive rain coming in, maybe a little bit of a break, and then this final line is going to make its way from west to east across the area. Here's a bigger view of that. That broad circulation looks to me just west of Sulphur Springs.
Correct.
And moving northeast
Yeah.
at 50. So it may hopefully miss Sulphur Springs proper and pass to their north. But again, that is a tornado warning. We have other tornado warnings. Let's head a little farther south, Kevin, and look at these other cells that are farther down. We got this tornado warning in effect for Canton. So notice, real quick, back out just a little bit, Kevin. Back out again with those warnings on there. I don't know, can you show, I want to show the purple here with the red. The purple warnings represent a tornado warning where a tornado has been observed. The red ones are tornado warnings based on radar. All right, so they give you a little ability to know that, okay, this warning, that means a tornado's actually occurred. Let's go a little farther south. This is going to be east of the Dallas area. Let's go to this one near Canton. We'll check out that. That warning's in effect until 6. And the thunderstorm itself is from Maybank over through Canton, and it is approaching Highway 80 and I-20. The circulation is in between Maybank and Canton, approaching from the southwest. So those of you in Canton, This is not a confirmed tornado, but it's definite circulation. It's right there. Yeah, very clear for me to see that. And perhaps one, maybe even south of Maybank, but the main one we're looking at here is near Canton and moving to the northeast. So this is a tornado warning. That means you take the appropriate action, get in your shelter. That one is moving off to the northeast as well. And this is a third one, right? This is near the Richland Chambers Reservoir. This is farther south. Let's see if we can. I know it's 5:30, so we've got this circulation here. That is north of the Richland Chambers Reservoir, and that is moving off to the northeast as well. So it's 5:30. I know you're turning on, hoping to see Lester. We're going to stay with our coverage because we have a confirmed tornado occurring. We have tornado warnings that are in effect. We have severe thunderstorms that are moving through Dallas and Collin counties. And this is thunderstorm warnings, and this is kind of out of our area. So you just got to get the idea. All these thunderstorms, let's back out all the way, Kevin, all the way, because I want folks to our east. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tornado warnings, and these are all moving off to the northeast. So these are going to be impacting our viewers east of Dallas-Fort Worth. Then you have this line, and you can kill the warnings now. This line of thunderstorms is the final line. This is making its way through Dallas right now. It's out of Denton, still a severe storm, a line of storms capable of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But the most concern I have is with these individual cells that you can see that have popped up. And that's where all the tornado warnings are. Severe thunderstorm warnings along this line